key to the hacker mindset is curiosity. And one of the core elements to curiosity is you've got to figure out how it works. Before you can hack anything, whether it's a computer system or a bureaucratic system in life, you've got to actually understand how it works. And then once you understand how it works, then you can look at how you exploit the system. To illustrate that, I can tell you about one of our analysts, a guy named Joel. And in some research that Joel did before he joined our company, he was really interested in answering an important question. Can you set something on fire? Now that's a pretty wild question to ask, but these are the types of questions that hackers have to ask is, what's the worst thing that could happen? What could possibly go wrong? Can you set something on fire? Because if the result of some sort of cyber attack is something ignites, that introduces a whole new realm of possibilities of bad outcomes that could happen. So Joel wanted to explore this question. Could you deliver an attack that results in fire? And in order to do that, what he did was he was looking at IoT device grade power strips. So these are the power strips that all of us have. You plug your computer, whatever peripherals into, and allows, multiplying of outlets, but also surge protection. And IoT ones have a way to communicate with them, maybe by Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, whatever. And so he took one of these devices and he bought a bunch of sketchy old lamps, things that predated modern fire safety standards. And the thinking was, well, what if he could get them to turn on and off, cycled like really, really fast? Could that cause some sort of issue where now they burst into flames? And so bought all these lamps, connected them to this power strip, and then went and figured out how to write an exploit sequence that would enable the power strip to cycle on and off rapidly, repeatedly. And so he built this thing. It was really, really noisy, and his wife hated it. It created all kinds of noise, and it did exactly that. It would cycle. Now, this did not result in a fire because some of the hardware components would actually burn out in the power strip before it would actually deliver enough chaotic energy that might result in a fire. So he told me that story. I first was I was really looking forward to the end result of this being this thing's on fire. So why did you tell me that story? I asked him. And he said, well, first and foremost, that was the most complex and interesting vulnerability exploit chain he'd ever written. So that was really, really exciting. The second thing was the things he learned from that research actually directly correlated to some research, to a project he was doing later for one of our clients who was actually making a really popular movie streaming app, an app all of us probably use, very, very commonly used streaming app. And he was looking at it for security vulnerabilities. And the things he learned from that power strip hacking exercise enabled him to find some really catastrophic flaws in this streaming app and find them quickly. That's really powerful because this idea of figuring out how it works, understanding the components, how they interact, how you can actually string together a series of vulnerabilities and turn them to an exploit sequence, that is critical to the hacking exercise. And so the Joel story really illustrates that aspect of curiosity.